Hello everybody, Cowabunga here. Today it looks like the Steam page for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 is up. And with that, we have some new information about the game. So I'm going to be going over the Steam page. And then after that, I wanted to talk about leaks for this game, because there have been a lot that I haven't really talked about. If you don't want to be spoiled, the first part of the video here, it's not going to talk about leaks at all. Yeah, once I'm done going over the Steam page, that is when I'm going to start talking about leaks. So that's when you should click off if you do not want any leaks. So yeah, check this video out. This is basically like the launch trailer, but for some reason, as you saw right there, there's this new little clip. This is pretty weird, honestly. So we get another look at the Chum Bucket stage here real quick. But like, Ren is not on Stimpy. That's weird because in his showcase we saw no indication that like you could separate the characters in any way, so I don't know why Ren is not behind Stimpy here. It's kind of weird. We get a look at the Chum Bucket. There was a leaked image for this that I will bring up here in just a second that kind of showed the whole layout of the Chum Bucket. So here is that leaked image. It seems like a stage preview for this, and I figure, you know, if I'm going to talk about a leak, something like a stage isn't that big of a deal. So this just seems like the regular layout for the stage. It's a very unique one. There's a platform up here with a switch. Don't know what that switch does. I wonder if it would maybe, I don't know, start making the chum here rise or do something crazy like that. There seems to be like maybe a moving platform right here that goes in between here. I think that the chum here would probably hurt you. And then there's like two walk-offs over here. So yeah, a very unique stage. Oh yeah, there's a platform up there too. So yeah, that's probably what's going on. There's just lots of moving parts here. And a very hazardous bucket of chum at the bottom. Just in case you haven't seen that, there you go. So again, you can kind of see that switch here. It doesn't really do anything when Aang attacks there, so who knows if it will actually interact with anything. But now we're going to talk about some stuff that's actually said within here. Not a lot of new stuff in text, but there are some GIFs down here that show off some new stuff. So I'm going to read through everything we can, just so we have a good understanding of what this game is all about. So Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 lets you duke it out with the biggest and best fighting character roster yet. Choose your favorite brawlers, master their unique movesets, and use all new powerful supers to land the finishing blow with friends or across a unique roguelike player campaign. It's worded a little bit weirdly, honestly. Best fighting character roster. Okay. Plan to release, to be announced. It was announced when this is going to release. This game is going to release on November 4th. Pre-orders for it, apparently on consoles, is not ready yet, and it's not going to be ready until later into October, so keep an eye out for that. You can wishlist it on Steam now, at least, so there's that. About this game, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 lets you duke it out with the biggest and best fighting character roster yet. There's fighting character roster again, including all new characters like SpongeBob SquarePants. Are you sure that's new? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not all of them. Squidward Tentacles. Okay, that's a new one. Jimmy Neutron. That's a new one, and more. Again, weird wording. Choose your favorite brawlers, master their unique movesets, and use all new powerful supers to land the finishing blow with friends or across a unique roguelike player campaign. Again, when it says player campaign, I think you mean single player campaign, right? Like, interesting. Very interesting. So we see this GIF here, and you can see you can actually fight against a Foot Clan soldier from TMNT, or even a jellyfish, which is just really funny. This is El Tigre's jab attack here. Take a look at that one more time. We haven't seen the full thing of this actually. But yeah, we got a little more of that now. featuring new single-player campaign. There's single-player. Put your skills to the test as you fight to stop Danny Phantom, arch-villain Vlad Plasmia's Danny Phantoms. Was this rushed together or something? Like, what's going on here? Arch-villain Vlad Plasmius from taking over the Nickelodeon universe. If you hit read more there, you get a chance to look at this GIF in full. Again, you see Patrick getting sucked up. This is some kind of like roguelike system where you'll use, I guess, some kind of tokens in order to get some small buffs to your character. And I don't know if like you'll only get those like once every game or if these are like permanent upgrades. It seems like it's going to be permanent because there's like tiers to it, as you can see, level 1 through 3. There's like this little hub world here for different I guess worlds that you could go to. Zim's house is on the top left there, so that's kind of like a Zim world. Obviously SpongeBob heads over to Jenny's world. So there must be different things in the hub world that represent stages probably that you'll go to and fight on and all that good stuff. And you'll have to do missions across each thing. At least that's what I'm guessing anyway. This is probably like the beginning because it says visit Nora Wakeman on the top right. So it's kind of giving you a bit of a mission. And I think it's just a tutorial because it's probably trying to teach you how to use the perk shop there. Obviously, the other big thing here is that we get a sneak preview of the King Jellyfish fight. Up until now, it wasn't officially confirmed that King Jellyfish was a boss, so that is really sweet, and I really like that little spin into the zap there. Just really fun. King Jellyfish is usually a good starting boss for any Nickelodeon game. Alright, let's finally move on from that GIF. All new gameplay, new and revamped visuals meet new audio, animations, modes, stages, mechanics, taunts, and movesets for all levels of play. Cinematic supers, power up your fighters with incredible new animated supers to deal devastating blows to your opponents. This is looking really sweet, and it seems like the visuals here are a little bit updated from what we've seen in the spotlights. So, new and improved brawlers. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2's roster is better than ever, with even more variety in how each unique character plays. Battle with brand new Nickelodeon fighters as well as returning fan favorites. Notice how it says that the roster is not bigger than ever. I think that goes a little bit into leak speak, so if you do not want to be spoiled about anything, then go ahead and click off the video now. But I think I'll just go straight into the roster when I talk about leaks, because according to leaks, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2's roster is not bigger than Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1's roster technically, because the total roster size is 25. In Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1, after DLC, the roster total was 25, and according to leaks that seem very legit at this point, there are 11 roster cuts, and Vlad Plasmius is not a playable character. So, if we take previous leaks into account, mainly the one that showed like the big banner art with all the characters on it, that was our final roster. It really was. We had a lot of copium leading up to this, but yeah, it's pretty much confirmed through leaks that that is what's going on. So the only characters we have left to be revealed based on this is the Angry Beavers, Azula, and Gerald up here. If I kind of just, for me personally, if I compare this roster to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1's roster, you know, to me, I'm feeling pretty much the same about this roster as I did about Nick All-Star Brawl 1's. Like, in Nick All-Star Brawl 1 and 2, like, the rosters are pretty decent, I must say. But overall, there's still just some big missing characters in each. In both games, they don't have all 4 turtles. That's annoying. I don't understand it. You know, in both games, we've got characters like Powder Toast Man, who I love, and Grandma Gertie over some other characters. But overall, we still have some of the heavy hitters here. We got our SpongeBobs, our Patricks, the TMNT characters, Zim, of course, we love Zim, and Garfield, Jenny, Rocco. These are all really big characters. And again, going back to the second roster here, for me, like, again, I'm feeling pretty much just the same. We have some of our system sellers still. We've got SpongeBob, we've got Garfield, we've got Jenny and Rocco, Jimmy Neutron now, that's a really big one. And of course we got Reptar still from Rugrats, Avatar stuff, so still a lot of big time characters in this roster. And then we've got some of the more small stuff getting represented, like El Tigre, which is awesome. Again, kind of like a pick like Jenny, where the series hasn't been really relevant for a really long time, but it's finally getting the prominence it deserves. We got more Danny Phantom characters like Ember, which just makes sense because Vlad is the main final boss of the game and the main villain of the campaign. We got the other 2 turtles. We got Raphael and Donatello, but not Leonardo and Michelangelo this time. Again, that's kind of annoying. They kind of have like a similar character dynamic to Cat Dog. It's not the same, but you know, it's still going to be like 2 characters that are just fighting with each other and working together at the same time too. Basically the same concept as Cat Dog. We got more SpongeBob characters, more Hey Arnold characters. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think people are very disappointed by cuts, and that's perfectly fine. But again, you just look at this roster in a vacuum, and like, this is fine, you know? It sucks that there were 11 character cuts. Again, let's just take a look at this, right? Sandy is gone. We got Squidward and Plankton in her place. I think that's more than enough SpongeBob characters. I don't really need Sandy in there if I've got Squidward and Plankton. Then we got Toph. Toph kind of hurts because Toph is just a really cool Avatar character. Her earthbending stuff was pretty unique within the game, so yeah, that one does kind of stink. Lincoln Loud is gone. I don't think anybody cares, honestly. Leonardo, Michelangelo gone. Those are like the 2, I don't know, to me those are like my 2 favorite turtles, so having them gone kind of sucks. But we got Raphael and Donatello now, which I guess that's okay. Shredder is not a playable character now, but apparently he's going to be a boss, so I guess he's still going to be in the game and you're still going to be able to fight against him, so whatever. Powder Toast Man is gone. Man, I fell in love with this dude as soon as he got revealed for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, because like, I didn't watch Ren and Stimpy too much, and honestly, Ren and Stimpy is probably the one cartoon that I could say I just got like uncomfortable while watching it. And Powder Toast Man, though, when he got revealed, I'm like, oh yeah, he is from Ren and Stimpy, and I kind of looked back at Powder Toast Man clips and I was like, oh my god, I actually love this. So Powder Toast Man kind of became the character that I really connected with from Ren and Stimpy, just because I thought his segments were really funny. So it's really sad that he's gone. Cat Dog being gone really sucks. He's a big time Nickelodeon character. Yeah, that one's a bit disappointing. Helga being gone kind of stinks too. I pretty much mained a lot of characters that got cut. So Helga, though, she was the very obvious pick for Hey Arnold. But now we've got Gertie and Gerald in there again. 2 characters instead of Helga. I think that's probably fine. And then we've got Oblina. Her series has just been completely axed as far as we can tell. which really isn't good. Again, CatDog and Oblina both getting their series axed. It's not fun. It's not fun. I didn't have too much of a personal connection with Oblina, but she was a cool character in this game. Finally, last cut character, Hugh Neutron. Oh my god. One of my favorite Jimmy Neutron characters. I wouldn't say he is my favorite. It's just really hard to pick a favorite from Jimmy Neutron. All the characters are really funny, but Hugh was a super memorable character, and him not being playable, it doesn't hurt too much. At least we got him in the first game. I wouldn't prioritize him over Jimmy again, of course, and Jimmy got in, so yeah. If they had to make character cuts, like, again, characters like Hugh and Sandy, Lincoln Loud, the Turtles, and Shredder, Powder Toast Man, like, most of these, to me, do make sense, especially with the newcomers that they ended up adding, but still, if it were up to me, I'd probably keep characters like Toph and Oblina, CatDog, all that good stuff. And again, when I look at this roster, it's just like, oh yeah, the Angry Beavers are whatever, Grandma Gertie's the funny character, kind of taking over for Hugh, I guess, so that's fine. Squidward's a fan favorite, Plankton's a fan favorite, Gerald's just kind of the new de facto Hey Arnold character, so whatever. El Tigre, big time pick, we love El Tigre. Ember's like a decently cool character. I'm not crazy over her, but still, it makes sense for her to be there. Azula is a cool pick. I know a lot of people want Zuko, myself included, but Azula being there just for the sake of having more villains is fine. And then we got the other two Ninja Turtles here. Not a terrible newcomer cast, and I think that we are going to get some DLC later on that, well, unfortunately, according to leaks, is apparently mediocre. What could that mean? Well, that could mean that the picks aren't really like super highly requested characters, or they're just like super safe picks, probably. Not only that, but leaks have said that the DLC roster consists of characters that are already represented within this game. So that means that we're not going to be getting new series represented like, I don't know, Rocket Power, Back at Barnyard, Chalk Zone, anything like that is not going to be happening for this first DLC pass. Again, that kind of sucks. But I don't know, if I had to give my predictions, it's kind of hard because even if you narrow it down like that, there's still like a lot of characters that you could choose from. For me overall, I think like the characters that are probably really likely include like Angelica, because she is just like another Rugrats character that should be in there, and was in concept art from the first game, so just kind of makes sense. And another thing that was said about this DLC, by the way, is that it does round up the roster, which makes me think that, well, maybe they're going to be adding characters from series that only have like one character for the most part, and Rugrats definitely falls under that. So along with Rugrats, another series that only has one rep right now is Loud House, because Lincoln is gone, and it seems very weird to me, honestly, that Nick was okay with that decision. I think that there's probably something going on here, and that's why I'm predicting that there's probably going to be some kind of Loud House character. My prediction personally is Clyde. Why Clyde? Because again, I don't think that Clyde is very like highly requested. It seems like the sisters from Loud House are more popular than him, but he is Lincoln's best friend. And I could totally see Nickelodeon being like, well, if you're going to get rid of Lincoln, then you need to add Clyde in there, please. I think that's probably a very real possibility. Other than that, man, there's a couple series in here that only have one rep now. I don't know about Rocco because Heifer and Norbert both appear in like Rocco's stage as like pictures. I don't know if that deconfirms them or anything, but again, rumors are going around that like NPCs and stage cameos, they are not going to end up being in the DLC either. those are stage cameos, so I think Rocco might stay by himself. There's a very real possibility that Vexus could end up being in the DLC. Vexus is from My Life as a Teenage Robot. She's one of the antagonists from there. It has been said once again in leaks that her minions are common enemies within the campaign mode, just like the foot soldiers and the jellyfish, but one leaker has said that they have not seen Vexus in the game at all, which is very curious. Again, you have her minions in the game, but not her herself. Not as a boss, not as an NPC, nothing. So yeah, I think there might actually be a very real possibility for Vexus to be in the DLC. And for one last prediction, again, if we're going to take a look at series where there's only one rep, and I don't really see it being a problem to add a rep from whatever series, for me, it's kind of between Garfield here and Zim. I think a lot of people are predicting Dib to be a part of the roster. Honestly, again, since people are saying that the DLC is mediocre, I'm kind of thinking that Dib is not going to be a part of the DLC, because I know for a fact that Dib is a very highly requested character. And if the people who do know about the DLC saw that Dib was there, they probably would say something more like, well, this DLC is mediocre for the most. There is one really good pick, but other than that, I mean, everybody else is just pretty safe or whatever. I don't think anybody would think that Dib would be a mediocre choice, so that leaves me to maybe like Garfield and maybe John Arbuckle, because we've just seen that Odie is like a cameo character in Garfield's stage. Maybe that would make sense, right? Another possibility that I have been seeing thrown around, and it would be pretty funny, is that maybe Arnold is DLC. Again, I think that fits the mediocre thing very well, because I'm sure that people, if they did see that Arnold was DLC instead of being in the base roster, then they would say, well, why the heck is Arnold not in the base cast? Why didn't you make like Gerald the DLC character or something, right? So yeah, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think that's a very real possibility as well. So that's basically like my top 5 for right now. Moving on to other leaks about this game, concerning the campaign mode mainly, is that there have been a lot of render leaks. There's renders used throughout the campaign for like speech bubbles and such, and a lot of these are getting leaked over the past couple of weeks now, and I want to show you guys basically as many of them as I possibly can. So here we go. Okay, so I got this off of Ankle from the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl Discord server. Shout out to him. He has been taking their renders and giving them like transparent backgrounds so that people can use them for like memes or thumbnails or something like that. I know I'm going to be doing that. And as you can see, they have divided things into different folders here. There are playable characters in here, and then we've got non-playable characters in here. So this is where a lot of interesting stuff happens. So we're going to look at this first. So some of these characters are just going to be NPCs within the campaign mode. Some of them are going to be bosses. This one seems to just be an NPC, and it is the Cabbage Man from Avatar, which is amazing. I love the fact that this gag character is actually going to end up being in the game somehow. It is unfortunate that like a lot of this stuff is leaking, because I definitely would have freaked out if I just saw a Cabbage Man in there randomly for whatever reason, screaming, "My cabbages!" for, you know, whatever reason he will probably end up doing that for. But yeah, we love the Cabbage Man. It's sad that he's not a DLC character or anything. By the way, I guess I should mention too that Avatar might have a good chance, but again, I don't know. Rounds out the roster, then I don't know about Avatar getting more reps. It might. It just might. Obviously, I guess the main candidates would be Katara or Sokka there. We haven't seen either one of them in these renders, so that's pretty good. Here we have Clockwork, who isn't really much of a villainous character within Danny Phantom, but apparently he is a boss within the campaign mode. So that's really interesting. Again, if you end up maybe getting to play as villains at some point, maybe you'll fight against Clockwork. Other than that, I don't see a reason yet why he would fight good people. Maybe there's just some kind of misunderstanding and he starts attacking, but this guy actually has a decent amount of potential to be a really cool boss, so can't wait to see what he's gonna do. The Flying Dutchman, so not only is he gonna be like a background character in the Flying Dutchman stage again, but he is also going to be a boss within the game. So again, pretty interesting. I think there's a lot of potential there. I think it actually makes a lot, and I mean a lot of sense for Vlad to recruit the Flying Dutchman, considering that they're both ghosts. I think that's probably going to be a cool bit of crossover there. And I don't know why the Flying Dutchman's going to fight, but whatever. Usually Flying Dutchman fights are pretty fun in SpongeBob games, so it's probably going to end up being pretty fun in this game too. Now we have Frida from El Tigre. She is going to be an NPC of some kind, or helper character in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure, but here she is, and I mean, man, she's translated very well into 3D. What can I say? Very happy to see a lot of El Tigre representation in this game. Here is Gary, his goofy little face, his goofy little smile. Of course, Gary's gonna make a appearance in this game. Then we've got Gaz. Again, we've seen Gaz as an NPC, but not Dib. So that is pretty interesting. That does increase Dib's chances, I'm sure. This leaker definitely hasn't shown off all of the renders for even just like the regular characters. So there might be some surprises that even they are keeping from us with other characters too. So who knows, we might buy the game and all of a sudden Div is also an NPC. Now we know that he's deconfirmed or something, but I mean, if people know the DLC, it's probably honestly not going to last very long until the DLC is eventually leaked, which will be unfortunate. Then we have Gurr here, doing the iconic yelling pose here that everybody loves. Gurr again seems to be an NPC, and he actually there was some kind of screenshot that showed him in game as well, just going like doo 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 doo, you know, his usual stick. Yeah, there were leaks saying that he was going to be a part of Zim's moveset and he was going to work a lot differently, kind of like Goddard, where you could control him a little bit. So that should actually be pretty fun. Here is the man of the hour, Hugh Neutron. He is going to be an NPC, so he's not completely gone from the game. Still not going to be playable though, so that's sad, but as far as I'm aware, NPCs are going to be getting voice acting. I think that's been confirmed by one of the leakers, so we'll still get to see him and hear his voice and all that good stuff, so it's not all bad. Now we got King Jellyfish, one of the bosses that was confirmed today. He's putting his dukes up. We love King Jellyfish. Here's Miss Wakeman again, and we now know her role within the campaign mode. It's going to be that she is some kind of like shopkeeper that gives you different perks and stuff. And, you know, honestly, I'm wondering if each of the NPCs here are actually going to be some kind of like shopkeepers that have like different perks for different characters or something like that, or if they'll just have different perks for each character and you can choose which ones you want to have. That would be pretty interesting. Now we've got the most based NPC of all time. We've got Used Napkin, Chip, and Penny here. Again, probably would have freaked out as soon as I saw this in the game. I don't know what context they're going to appear in, but like, whatever it is, I hope that it's funny. Here he is, Powder Toast Man. Not playable, but again, we're probably going to be hearing his voice and seeing him do something. I mean, I don't know, but this is my boy right here, man. I'm going to miss you, Powder Toast Man. And I don't know. I mean, I guess I can just play Nickelodeon or Brawl 1 if I want to play as Powder Toast Man. That's the big thing about the cuts, you know. A lot of people complaining about the cuts, but let's be real. If you really are a fan of the series, you will go back and play the first game if you want to play as the characters that got cut. Let's be real. Now we got Mrs. Puff. Previously, we saw that she was a part of SpongeBob Super, but I guess she's also going to be in the campaign mode, assisting you in some way, shape, or form. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if she's some kind of like shopkeeper in the game. Now we have Sartana here, and this is another boss within the game. Sartana is, again, a really cool idea for a boss. Makes perfect sense to be a boss. and it makes perfect sense for her to be working with Vlad because, I mean, she's not a ghost, but she's undead, so basically the same thing, right? Then here is Shredder's render. This one's really sick. I love this one. We also have Master Splinter, and for our final one here we have Vlad Plasmius, actually in game, and yeah, seeing him, he looks pretty dang sick. I wanted him as a playable character, so it's going to be sad to know that he's not. But at the very least, I can still fight against him and still kind of feel like he's a part of the game that way. So, alright, for the rest of the renders, since we're now looking at the playable characters, I'm just going to kind of zip through them real quick so you guys can see them. Aang does not look terrible anymore. Honestly, he didn't look very good in the first game. Sometimes outright nightmarish. April's looking cool. Azula. This is a brand new character. If you haven't seen her before, this is what she's going to look like. Her getting in over Zuko doesn't bother me too much. Here's Daggett and Norbert in case you wanted to see them. They are not very happy here. Here is Danny Wynn. Look at that. Danny looks really good in this game. Donatello. Here's Ember. Garfield with the arms crossed pose, of course. Gerald also crossing his arms, so this is what he's going to look like. Grandma Gertie, she's very happy there. Jenny Wakeman, I can definitely recognize that pose. Jimmy Neutron. A lot of these poses are from like promotional art or just stills from the show. They like to do that a lot. Here's Lucy Loud. There is Nigel Thornberry. Patrick there with the oops, did I do something wrong smile. Plankton with the shrug. I really love this one. I think I would be playing Plankton a lot, dude. He just looks really funny in everything that I've seen about him. Here's Raphael just looking like a crazy person. Reptar there looking real crazy. Ren and Stimpy again looking really accurate to the source material, man. Like, the stuff I've seen from Ren and Stimpy has been pretty impressive. Then we got Rocco, of course. He's looking pretty faithful too. There's SpongeBob. Squidward, who is just really angry. His veins are popping out. Yeah, that seems about right. Here's El Tigre. We love El Tigre. And then finally for this one we have Zim. The almighty Zim. We've got a lot more here. There's 95 of these, so I'm just going to flip through them real quick without talking, and then you guys can see all of them here. I'm sorry, okay, I have to stop on this one. This one is, this one's the meme. This one's the meme. This is the best one. I'm sorry. Okay, back to this. So out of all of those, which ones are my favorite? Well, for ones in here, I think that the Plankton Shrug is really funny. I really just like this El Tigre one. I like how El Tigre looks in general. He's translated perfectly into 3D in this game. It's kind of crazy. And Raphael, the crazy looking one, is really good. From here, I really like that Cabbage Guy one. I think the Zula Angry one is pretty good too. This Gary Angry one is really good because it just looks like he just is so offended and it's so funny. I like the Gerald Cringe one. I think that's pretty good. Hugin Agony is amazing. Him just like screaming. That's just how I feel when I heard that he got cut. Hugh Cool is also pretty good. I really like this one. Looks very derpy, but I like it. Let's see. This one, yeah, this one's probably edited a little bit. I don't know what's going on there. I really like all of Plankton's, honestly. All Plankton's renders are just amazing. Again, every single time I see the character, I just like, man, I really do got a main to do, don't I? Ren and Stimpy stuff looks amazing, dude. They all look really freaking like just animated, and it's amazing. I like this Reptar one up here too. It's pretty sick. This El Tigre one is awesome. I love it. Vlad being shocked is kind of funny. Zoom! Yeah. Overall, these renders are awesome. As you can see, there's like over 100 of them. So there's just a lot of work being put into the campaign mode of this game. And I mean, I don't know. Once we see the campaign mode, hopefully, because I'm already seeing it, I just hope that people kind of just like calm down about the roster and maybe just like realize that they prioritize making a very, very good game over a very, very bare bones game like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1 was. They're trying to create a very balanced, complete experience with the game, and again, we have DLC. So, you know, when it comes to the roster, man, things can be fixed as long as the game is supported, as long as we keep getting DLC. And with how awesome this game's looking, I mean, I don't know. It's very possible that we get like a Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 3 one day that really shakes things up, but it's also perfectly possible that we just keep Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 around for a really long time and it gets supported for years and years to come, man. It really is possible. There's a lot of fighting games. I mean, the one that I think of is Dragon Ball FighterZ, where it just continuously gets updated with new characters and stuff, even when you're not expecting it. It's getting like rollback netcode too, and some of these games don't get sequels. Sometimes they just keep on supporting the game for a really long time. So I hope that's what happens with Nick All-Star Brawl 2, and maybe eventually we can get most of our cut veterans back or something like that. That would be the best case scenario, I think, because truly I think that the gameplay of this game is probably going to end up being really good, and expanding upon it probably won't be super duper necessary, but I guess if they wanted to do that, then that's what a third game would be for. And I'm sure that if there was a third game, that they probably would use a lot of assets from Nick All-Star Brawl 2 and bring them over, because the game is looking amazing. And yeah, they won't have the same problem as they did with Nick All-Star Brawl 1, where they felt like they had to basically start from scratch because a lot of stuff about that game just wasn't up to par. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. I think this is pretty much going to be the last time I talk about leaks until the game is released. It's only just basically like, what, a little over a month away now, so that's pretty exciting. And I will be playing the heck out of this game. I have a feeling that it's possible it could end up being one of my favorite platform fighters ever. And I have really, really high hopes for the game, so I hope you all do too, despite, again, like, you know, all the criticisms of the first game were basically addressed. But in turn, It took 11 characters away from us to do that, and yeah, it stings. It really does. There's no denying it, but as long as the game keeps getting supported, that can be alleviated. So don't try and make that the sole reason why you're really mad and you're not going to purchase the game or something, because that's not really worth it. Just enjoy the game for what it is. That's what I did with Nick All-Star Brawl 1. Sometimes people just don't know how to do that, apparently. You guys might be getting spoiled because it might be a double upload today, so I hope you look forward to that as well. So I'll see you guys on that other video. Bye!